Have you ever found yourself deleting a photo just because it didn't get enough likes? Have you ever changed your opinion, your style, or even who you are, just to be accepted by people you don't even really know? In the world of social media, it's easy to confuse approval with value. But let me ask you, how much of what you show is really you and how much is just a performance to please? If you're tired of living in the anxiety of being validated all the time, this video is for you. Here, you'll discover how to stop selling your value in exchange for likes and start living with real authenticity. Stay until the end, because today you will understand how to free yourself from the need to please and assume who you really are, without filters, without masks, without asking for permission. Have you ever stopped to think about how many times you've stopped being who you are just to be accepted by people who don't even really know you? Have you ever felt that if what you post doesn't generate likes, it's as if it has no value at all? We live in a time when showing off is more important than living, where looking happy is worth more than actually being happy. And in this game, many people have sold their value for crumbs of instant approval. If you feel that you are only seen when you please, that you are only heard when you follow the standard, this video is for you. Here, we're going to break that cycle, because you weren't born to be a filtered version of yourself. You were born to be whole, even when no one applauds. Stay until the end, because what you're about to hear could free you from something that has held you back for a long time, the need to be accepted all the time. We live connected lives, but are increasingly dependent on validation that lasts no more than a few seconds. A like, a comment, a shared story, it doesn't seem like much, but it fuels a lot of people's self-esteem. The problem is that this fuel is volatile. It runs out quickly, and then we post again, create again, smile again, just so we don't feel the emptiness of not being noticed. Gradually, what was spontaneous becomes performance. You no longer share what you feel, but what you think people will approve of. You no longer show who you are, but what they expect you to be. And what's worse, the more approval you seek, the more you lose sight of who you really are. And all this seems normal because everyone is doing it, but it only seems that way. The truth is that we are addicted to acceptance, and like any addiction, this comes at a high price. The feed has become a showcase where only the best angle, the best moment, the best version, even if it's fake, fit. And who are you when you're not performing? Who are you when no one is looking? That's where your real value lies. But that value doesn't get likes, it doesn't generate views, it doesn't impress the algorithm. That's why many people swap it for something that looks more sellable. But let me ask you, how many likes are your piece worth? How many followers are worth your identity? It's no exaggeration to say that we're selling the most precious thing we have, our truth. And the bargaining chip? Quick approval, which doesn't last, doesn't fulfill, doesn't build anything lasting. But the bill comes. And when it comes in the form of anxiety, comparison, exhaustion. You look at your life and feel that it no longer represents you. Because everything has become content. The smile, the trip, even the pain. Everything needs to perform. And if it doesn't, it's invisible. But reality isn't made up of performance. It's made up of processes, of silences, of ordinary days. And it's on those days that you should feel more whole. Not less. The problem is that the world has taught you that if you don't get applause, you're worthless. That if you don't have an audience, you're worthless. But that's a lie. And you need to stop believing it. Because every time you mold yourself to please, you move away from who you were born to be. Your value is not in the reactions you provoke, but in the truth you sustain. You can have 1,000 followers and still not be yourself. You can have a viral video and still feel empty. And do you know why? Because likes don't build identity. They build expectation. And the more you feed other people's expectations, the hungrier you'll feel for approval. It's a cycle that only breaks when you choose authenticity. When you decide that you will no longer negotiate your essence in order to fit into a pattern. Because those who live to please die of rejection. And that's not what you were made for. The road back to your truth begins with small choices. Choices that seem simple but are revolutionary. Like posting what you really believe, even if it's not popular. How not to edit your pain just to appear strong. How to take time off to remember who you are without the reflection of the screen. How to value your own company without needing likes to validate it. Authenticity is not a nice speech. It's an act of courage. It's about being yourself when the whole world wants you to be something else. And the closer you get to this truth, the freer you become. Free from the fear of being forgotten. Free from the anxiety of being accepted. Free from the obligation to perform all the time. And freedom, in this world where everything seems designed to hold you back, is power. It's saying no to a pattern that suffocates you. It's saying yes to who you are, even when that means being different. Being real is accepting that you won't always please, that it won't always go viral. But it's also knowing that when you impact someone by being real, that impact lasts. Because it touches, it transforms, it inspires. And that's what matters. The rest is just noise. It passes. It's forgotten. Fades away. But the truth, your truth, that remains. So now, I invite you to take a break from everything that pushes you out of yourself. Close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself, who am I when no one is watching me? The answer could be the start of a new story. A story where you no longer have to sell yourself, adapt, or hide. A story where your value is not for sale, because it has always been yours. And the only approval that really matters is yours. If this made sense to you, leave a comment. I choose authenticity. Share this video with someone who needs reminding of their own value. And don't forget, you don't need to fit in to be amazing. You don't need to be validated to be valuable. What's true about you is worth more than any passing applause. Remember, there is no growth in the comfort zone, and there is no comfort in the growth zone, and the result you need is in the sacrifice you don't make.